Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Just gonna have a quick video today. Just a couple of things to talk about that I have. I'm just gonna say thank you for clicking onto this video, and please share this video, and please subscribe. I'll make this video. I'll try to be very short. I'll try to make it short but effective. I hope you get the message. And the message, as the title says, Africa should focus on development and not democracy. I strongly believe democracy has failed Africa. And I'm going to use Zambia as a case study. Okay? I'll use Zambia as a case study. First of all, if you define democracy, I think it's ruled by the people for the people, right? I think Socrates, one of the ancient Greek philosophers, I think Socrates, yes, not Plato, I think it was Socrates, had also issues with the kind of democracy that we see today. And he preferred a democracy where the educated people made decisions. Okay, and I think that's part of it is included into like some of these, like the parliament makes decision based on the people, but he wanted even the people who actually understood things to be voting. And I understand to be the only ones voting, not just everyone. And I understand his fears, because you see those fears at play in Africa. Democracy only works when the populace is well informed and well educated. To educate and well informed. You know, a lot of people, like if you go to Tanzania, you go to the villages there's people who still believe they've been ruled by Julius Nyerere. And anything that has Julius Nyerere on it, people will vote. You know, if they were voting a symbol, a ticket symbol for Julius Nyerere, they just keep voting for that symbol. It doesn't matter who's the president. You know, some people even go and scare people to say, oh, are you voting for crocodile, or are you voting for this? And you know, they use that to scare people about the crocodile or something along those lines. And those people are convinced that they shouldn't vote for that particular person because his ticket symbol is a crocodile or something else. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So I kind of understand Socrates' fears when it comes to democracy, because I've seen these things at play in Africa. You know, Zambia got its independence in 1964, and a man called Dr. Kenneth Kaunda was the first Zambian president. A good man, person who loved not just Zambia, but Africa as a whole. He was pretty much involved in every liberation that was happening across the continent. He supported Mandela even at the UN assemblies. Not only did he just support him like that, but he also, all the ANC, big guys in the ANC at that time who were running away from South Africa were welcomed in Zambia, and there was an ANC headquarters in Zambia under Kenneth Kaunda, and he sponsored them. You know, him and Samora Machel helped Zimbabwe out. He helped so many other countries after we became independent. So he wasn't just a Zambian icon; he's an African icon, and he was a great leader. But what happened? He ruled for 27 years. Okay, for me, I know people say that's too long. Actually, the only problem is he wasn't willing to change. You know, he didn't change in the sense that everything was run by the government. The buses were government owned. Everything was run by the government. And when the price of copper started dropping, which was the bloodline of Zambia, you know, the heartbeat of Zambia during those times, even today, was copper. And when the price dropped, the government could not afford a lot of things. But his way he governed the country was great. One of the greatest things to come out of his presidency is this his objective to unite the country. And he used this slogan called One Zambia, One Nation. That has been the pillar of that country's peace, the pillar of that country's progress is where every Zambian, they don't call themselves their tribe, but they call themselves Zambian. That's still a dream that's far away for a lot of countries in Africa, and Zambia has managed to achieve that. So because of the drop in copper prices and him failing to realize that you need to bring in the private companies and private business people instead of just the government running everything, cost him that. But during that time, during his period, most of the most important infrastructures in Zambia were done by him. Even the roads that he built during his reign are still the better ones compared to the ones that have been built in the last 20 something years. Even the ones that were built 2 years ago, his roads stand the test of time because he wanted the best for his country. Education was free. It was great. A lot of people get jobs immediately after graduating, until the economy started suffering. That's when we ushered it. So he ruled for 27 years. And then democracy came into Zambia, became a multi-party democracy, And since that, we've had about 3 transitions of not presidents but parties, peaceful transitions. So his Kaunda's party was called UNIP. They ruled for 27 years. 1991, they were thrown out by MMD, Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, under the leadership of FJT Chiluba. Chiluba ruled for 10 years. He wanted to go for a 3rd term. The Zambian people, there was going to be a referendum to change the terms, which is quite common across Africa. The Zambian people said no, and they accepted that. And he ushered in another leader who did a tremendous work. He even did better than Chiluba because he fought corruption to a point where the person that appointed him was Chiluba. When this man became president, realized a lot of money was siphoned out of the country, he put Chiluba under investigation. And this is the person who appointed him. There was nothing like loyalty to him when you've stolen from the country. So we were lucky to have that man as a leader. His name was Levi Patrick Mwanawasa. Unfortunately, he died before he could finish his term. So another leader came, his 2nd term, another leader came in, and he only ruled for 3 years, and we had to change the party again to the Patriotic Front. The first president of that party was Michael Sata. This happened in 2011. It was Michael Sata. Michael Sata was a pretty good president. Unfortunately, he died. He couldn't even finish his first term. And then we had a guy who didn't expect to be president in his life. He had no dreams. He had no vision. He had nothing. He's an alcoholic. And to be honest, he had the mentality of a rapper. That's what I always say. He wanted to be P. Diddy, flying private jets, hiring boats, and partying it up. That was him. So, we've had pretty good presidents. The first president was great. The second president he ushered in a lot of things that changed the economy of Zambia, and Zambia started developing. So I'll give him credit for that. I'll give him 4 out of 5. Or 3.5 out of 5. The 3rd president, I'll give 4.5 out of 5. He was just an honest man and a hard worker. Unfortunately, and during his presidency, Zambia's economy developed. So all these, the first 3 presidents, they've been building up the economy of Zambia slowly. The 4th president was kind of wasteful with things. Started declining from him until the last president. So that's democracy for you. Zambia is probably one of the countries that could easily be described as the light of democracy in Zambia, in Africa. But for me, I think democracy has been a failure in Zambia and or across Africa. Okay? Why do I say this? Take for instance in Zambia, Kagame even said this once, you can have many leaders come and go, and all of them useless. You know, and you can find, it's not easy to find a good leader. It's not easy. It's very hard to find a nation builder. Okay? So the economy was been building up slowly. The last president, when he became president, I think Zambia was only owing about $3 billion. This guy went on a spending spree. Now Zambia is owing $20 billion. It's an $18 billion GDP. It has it's an $18 billion economy. Now it's owing $20 billion. Okay? At the moment, we have a great president who is a businessman, honest and dedicated to his craft. Now, this guy might turn out to be a nation builder, but you can't build a nation in 10 years. Okay? First of all, what Africa needs at the moment is to have nation builders. Not everyone is going to follow the American trend. Okay? Because I'm going to give you an example. Even in the West, in the Western countries, democracy is different. It's called democracy, but they've refined it to suit their situation. The only democratic capitalistic nation in the world is America. If you look at Germany, they had Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel, I think, has ruled for at least 20 years, I would think. I'm not sure, but it's a long, long time. It's one person. If you come to Australia, where I am, a Prime Minister of Australia can be there for 50 years as long as people keep voting them in. That's democracy. You know, I have the feeling it might be the same situation even in the UK, because some of them stay there longer, others don't. Same thing. You know, if you look at the only pure capitalist nation in the world is America. You go to UK, they have a bit of socialism. Then you go to Australia, they have a bit of socialism in there. But someone is going to scare you to say socialism is bad. Because look at Cuba. You know. Well, if you go half of the countries in Eastern Europe, now in Western Europe, you know, all those Scandinavian countries are 80% socialist, if not 100% socialist. And they've done quite well. It's the same thing with democracy. Is democracy the only form that can help a nation or a country or continent develop? I don't think so. Because what has just happened in Zambia, you can have a president build something up and the next president destroys everything, and you go back 20, 30 years from where you should be or from where you were a few years ago. And that's what has happened in Zambia. And this happens all across Africa. There's some people that come in, they're focused, they do well, but then their term apparently is gone. Another guy comes in and destroys everything. And we're just going, at the end of the day, you remain like that. You know, you're not going anywhere. It's a flat line, brother. You go up, you come down. 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 In the end, you're not going anywhere. Look at Kagame. Kagame has been in power for 20-something years. Look at where Rwanda is. They have a better army, probably one of the most effective. I mean, even though Rwanda is a very poor country, it's clean. Their health system is starting to look like it's even better than in most African countries. They've managed, every person in Rwanda gets free healthcare. Free healthcare. They've made the companies pay for the most part of it, of the healthcare. Things are working in Rwanda. It's a city to look at in awe. It's clean in Africa, and it's clean. Okay? So what we need to do is to find a way to reproduce Rwanda in all these other countries. What's happening in Guinea-Bissau? Look, they had a president there who kept changing everything. But the army has gone in. There's a coup, and the guys have got, remember, they haven't killed anybody in that coup. All they are asking for is that their country progresses and their country starts doing better. And they're asking for all the industries, for all the mining companies there in Guinea to start processing things in Guinea. They had a president who never asked for that. He liked to keep his people poor, and that was democracy. So in my opinion, we should allow the army to rule that country, because they have someone who actually cares about the people. Same thing in Mali. How long did Lee Kuan Yew rule Singapore? 30 years. Look where it is. By the time he left, they had developed infrastructure that will stand the test of time, judiciary, law. They're not really focused on democracy. If anything, when it comes to democracy, Singapore doesn't do very well. But where would you rather live, Singapore or some democratic country in Africa? You go to Singapore, it's pure clean. It's great. It took him 30 years. We have to think about what to be, even just, I'll tell you what, even Uganda. Uganda had coup after coup after coup after coup until Museveni kicked in. They haven't developed as much as they should, but it's a very stable country. It's the only country actually that's making cars these days. Like in East Africa, I think. Not assembling them, but making them. He's probably just not hasn't surrounded himself with smart people. He could do better. Bobby Wine, I like him, but Bobby Wine, as he seems to be always connected with the Western world, always. So all I'm saying is, I personally think, from what I've seen in Zambia, we need to look at things differently. Look at one of the greatest presidents Africa has ever seen, Thomas Sankara. Cool. Ruled for 4 years, changed the whole country. They've had democracy since he left. Since he was killed, the country's gone backwards. So each country in Africa has a different situation, and they need to figure out a way to develop just in that country, to find a way to move forward. And I think that's what we have to focus on. We have to find our own democracy. It doesn't have to be democracy. We can call it whatever we want to call it. But I think what's going to work in Africa is not communism, but communalism or communalism. That can work perfectly in Africa, all across Africa. Because there's one philosophy across that continent, and that is Ubuntu. And the philosophy is that of you look after me, I look after you. I'm my brother's keeper. We need to go back, and that's what they've done in Rwanda. They've gone back and they've created a judiciary that's purely African, not just following the Western world. We need to start looking at what they're getting things right in Rwanda and start following that. Let's focus on development and not democracy. Let's put leaders that have a nation, the people at heart, that want to progress, and give them time to make that country better. Thank you. And please share this video. Bye.